Hello, my name is Penelope. I'm going to show you how to make a 4-point plate. And 4 points means that it is divided at 4 points. I'll show you that. First of all, you are going to have a choice to make a small or a large plate bowl. And this is the larger bowl, and that's a smaller bowl. And today I'm going to just show you, they're made exactly the same way. I'm going to show you how to make the smaller bowl. This is your plate, and on the back it's marked 1, 2, 3, 4. It's also marked 1, 2, 3. So we are going to go with the 4, and the clay has been rolled already and it has been scored, but I'm just going to go over that with you. You roll your circle, and then would you pass me that ruler, please? You're going to make the marks, the 4 marks, 1, 2, 3, 4, which are on your plate. Then you're going to cut in 1 3/4 inches on each side. And using your toothpick, you're going to score on the right side, on the right side, on the right side, on the right side. Always the same. Then you're going to have to score underneath. So very carefully, you're going to lift the clay, take the toothpick, and just on the edge part, you're going to score all the way along. Now, the reason you score is if you did not score, the clay would not stick to each other. When it dries, if you just fit them together, they would come apart. And this is a mistake a lot of people make. You have to score, and it has to be thorough. So try, you don't need to go deep, but it must be all the way along. And see how just carefully, you're not rough, you just gently lift the clay and score. Now, you're going to take a sponge. This sponge is not very wet. I'm going to put a little bit of water in it, but I'm squeezing most of it out. If I don't think it's wet enough, I'll add more. Just a titch more there. But I don't want it too wet. If you make it too wet, the clay will get soggy and it will not hold. Okay, join these two pieces. Now I'm going to go to this one. Again, you must wet both sides. It's very important. And then you join carefully. Gently and carefully. Okay, now this to me looks like, oops, too much water. It looks to me like I'm not raising it quite high enough. So I'm going to just see about giving it a little more height, standing it up a little higher, because I am making a bowl. So you've got to just bear in mind what you're doing. Now that was a fingerprint. If that happens, just smooth it out. Smooth it out at the time. Don't leave it, smooth it right away. That one is better. Now you see the difference. See, this one's a little flat, so I'm not too pleased with that, so I'm going to go back and just fix that. Clay, you can fix it to a point, but you must not play with it too much or else you're going to be in trouble. And this is a good example of that. This, I'm going to that's better. Now, you're going to shape your bowl so that it is upright. You're going to take your sponge and gently, very gently, smooth any rough edges, or if you feel there are cracks. You can also use this tool, which is excellent for sealing those cracks. You do not want to have any breaks. You can see the difference. This one needs to be sealed. So you very carefully seal it. Never much water. I'm actually taking the excess water out on my apron. I don't want water. It will ruin my bowl. It will make the bowl collapse. You must be very careful because a tendency is to use a lot of water. And we all do that at the beginning. Don't do it. Now, you're going to support the edges and make sure your edges are smooth. The more things you do now to make your bowl look good, the better it will look in the end. You don't want to have to fool around with it afterwards. I'm going to take this tool and also go on the outside and make sure my seal is good. And this one. Again, you see little imperfections, fix them now. Now, this is a handmade bowl. It's not manufactured, so you want it to look handmade, but you want it to look good. I'm just going to fix that. Now, I forgot to tell you, but your extra clay should always be wrapped up. If you have clay you're not using, keep it wrapped in plastic because this may take longer than you think and the clay will start to dry out. I've done this a few times, so I'm a little faster than you'll be. It's not a race. Check your edges, make sure it looks just the way you want it to. You can see this is quite a shallow bowl, which I quite like. But if you want a bowl that's deeper, then I would suggest your overlap is going to be greater. So when you fold it over, make sure you score underneath on both sides, but just make the overlap bigger and then you will have, the sides will be higher. Now this is a 3-point bowl. This is a 4-point bowl. So they're slightly different looking. And you may think, oh, either is fine, or you might have a preference. But you have enough clay to make both. I'm going to show you the smaller versions. This is a 3-point, this is a 4-point. And you can see right from these that the 3-point is actually a deeper pot. And you might like that. And this is the green 4-point. Don't forget, you have to mark your piece. So you turn it over. And this is a good time to clean up any edges, any marks that you do not want. But it's very important that you put your information on the back. Again, I'm going to use this tool because you do not want to see any cracks. This is very important. The clay will separate if there's a crack. Now, just going to get that mark off. Okay. This is a very important part of making your pot, putting the information on. You will be given an order number, put that number on, put your initials on, and you will also be given a glaze code. You're going to write down which glaze you prefer. And there are quite a number to choose from. So you just write down, what is the code for plums, say? P. So I would like to have my pot plum. So I put P for plum. You can see how the clay is sagging down. So don't leave it like this. You turn it back over very carefully. Let's just clean this off. I'm going to actually turn it over and there. Now you must wrap your piece and let it sit and just check, a final check. After it's set, you can give it a final check. But do not let it dry out. It's very important you keep it wrapped in plastic. And then you make your next one. No one wants to have a piece that has sharp edges. So make sure that you just take the time to make sure there are no sharp edges. You go around, you can usually see if there's something that looks, it finishes your piece. You want it to be finished looking, you want it to have appeal, and it'll make a big difference in your final pot. I see another fingernail mark. You're going to see little things. The sponge has practically no moisture in it. You can see it's not leaving any water. It's very important not to have it too wet. Here, I'm just modifying this. You can shape it a bit when you're finished. Don't be afraid if you think, I'm just going to shape it a little bit. And you can see how I've changed the shape. And it's kind of square, and quite like that shape. If you want to change the shape, make sure that you always support the outside part of you're always supporting the clay. So and actually, even when you're using your sponge, make sure you're supporting. If you're using the sponge on a join like this, make sure that your hand is just on the outside. You're not pushing, you're just supporting it. You're helping, you're not putting too much weight on the inside part. Clay has a memory. If you bend it down and then put it back up, it could very well go down later. It tends to have a memory. Don't play too much with your clay. Get it the way you want it, that's it.